Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Prime Minister and colleagues at the high platform, Speaker of the National Assembly, my colleagues of the Cabinet, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished leaders of the labor community, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to be invited to say a few words at this very important occasion, the launching of the GAWU Labor College. As a little boy, reading the newspapers, I remember the struggles of the Guyana Agricultural Workers Union to gain recognition to represent workers in the sugar industry. And it seems, Nadira, some kind of coincidence that Dr. Jagan took 28 years to get recognition for GAWU after its launch in 1948. And I remember making a presentation in the National Assembly, recalling that on December the 31st, I think it was 1975, that the poll was ordered for the recognition of GAWU. Dr. Jagan had to struggle 28 years next to get the PNC dictatorship out of government. And then we know that things got better. That after the fires in April of 2001, when GAWU's headquarters in Regent Street were destroyed, it took a few years to develop this complex. And it was only 9 short years when GAWU not only has its headquarters here, but now a full-fledged labor college. So we must give much appreciation, much credit to the struggle of Dr. Jagan and the People's Progressive Party. And in this regard, I want you to join me in a hearty round of applause to GAWU, its president and executive, on this occasion. I note, ladies and gentlemen, that in every relationship, tongue will get somewhere between teeth. And it's no different in the labor movement in Guyana. But what is important is that we stay truthful to the ideals of giving equal hearing, equal consideration to all sides at the table. And in this regard, I want to assure the president of GAWU that the principles under which this union was founded, the principles on which the PPPC government has been governing, we in the Ministry of Labor and the government continue to commit strongly to. It is going to be a workers' government, and I have not had a mandate to do otherwise. But in the mandate of the Ministry of Labor, we have been asked to be fair to all sides. And that is why Dr. Romero, not so long ago, we amended the Trade Union Recognition and Certification Bill, which, after much struggle, recognized one umbrella group to speak on behalf of the labor movement. And we went back to the words of the ILO dating back to the 1920s, when the ILO introduced that at the tripartite table should have the most representative organizations of workers and employers. That way, we stayed loyal to the entire voice of workers and the resounding voice of employers are represented, and representing the wide cross-section of those two groups. And so while some will still believe that they have a divine right given by a dictator to to speak on behalf of labor in Guyana. Our laws have been amended to ensure that the democratic voice of the labor movement, the collective voice of workers, are heard at the table when we meet in social dialogue. And Dr. Romero, as we speak, our National Tripartite Committee has met for over 70 times over the last 12 years. Over 70 times in the last 12 years, the National Tripartite Committee has met. And we will continue to address the national issues at this tripartite level. It is no accident that we have a visiting team from the ILO here today. Tomorrow, Dr. Romero and her colleagues from the ILO partner with workers' representatives, employers' representatives, and the government of Guyana to develop our decent work country program based on those 4 pillars which the ILO sub-regional director just mentioned. For 2 days, we are going to be on lockdown so that we are going to create jobs in a low-carbon environment, that the policies and principles in which employers operate will give due recognition to the rights of workers, so that there will be social protection. And that is why the Ministry of Labor has a memorandum of cooperation with the National Insurance Scheme, where we both look out for the interests of workers in this country. And that is why we will continue to meet regularly, at least once a month, at the National Tripartite Committee, promoting national social dialogue and promoting social dialogue even within organizations. I am confident that Guyana, workers of Guyana, are going to be well represented not only by their unions, but by a strong labor department that is today looking out for the interests of over 80% of the workforce. Over 80%. Our trade unions represent just about 20% of our labor force. And so GAWU has a tremendous opportunity not only to build a labor college in Georgetown, but to extend by reaching out and increasing your membership throughout the length and breadth of our country. And not only GAWU, every union, every umbrella organization that exists, that have a collective of unions on it, have that opportunity. Much credit is given to GAWU. On their own, they have financed from their own members' contributions the construction of this labor college. They did not wait for a government handout, and sometimes what we've seen here is a reason why we shouldn't be giving too much of handouts. Another organization has been shouting from the highest mountaintop about subventions being taken away from them. But if they had done the basic work of representing their members, that word would have spread like wildfire, and their membership would have swollen, and they could have outdone what GAWU have done today. The Labor Department and myself takes great honor in congratulating GAWU on this magnificent achievement. Thank you very much.